Okay, so for the purposes of STEM Capstone, and documenting your entire, not only like what you do for your implement step, but the entire process as you go through it, you're going to be creating a Wix page. We use a website in general because it allows you to be really dynamic and impressive that you can make a website. But websites allow you to put a lot of stuff on them that like a Google slideshow necessarily wouldn't, or PowerPoint, or even more dynamic things like Prezi and stuff. It also allows you to be live and published, and anyone can access it. Just it's a much more open playing field of stuff. We want you to use Wix specifically for a couple of reasons. One, it's really good. It's what I use for the school website, and there's a lot of options in there. It gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of choices. And two, it lets you automatically make a login with your Google account, which is what we're going to want you to do. If you want to use something other than Wix, you are going to have to defend to me why you should be allowed to. And don't even start with Google Sites. It's just plain ugly. So when you go to Wix.com, if you do not have an account, you're going to create one. If you do have an account and it's a personal account, you're going to create a new one. If you have used your school Google address, you can go with that. This is what it should look like when you first go there. You're going to click sign in. And I want you to click continue with Google. I do not care that it's going to look ugly in the URL of your website, that it's going to be, STU and your number and all that stuff. Every year, whenever I do this, whether it's for Capstone or another class, I have kids use their personal email addresses, and then they forget their login, they forget their password, they can't access it again, and it's a mess. If you just click continue with Google, it will automatically use your school email address, it will automatically use your school password, it will remember it all. It's like magic. Just click continue with Google. And then, go through this rigmarole if you have to. Let's see. Okay, so I obviously have a bunch of sites already in here because I do stuff like the school website. But what you want to do is this little plus sign in the top corner, create a new site. And you can kind of pick from these. Honestly, I don't really know the difference in most of them. They probably just offer you different templates right up top. I'd probably suggest leaning towards like a portfolio one because this is kind of a portfolio of your capstone, your design process as you go through it. Do not click this over here. The design interface that it gives you is not as like manipulatable and changeable. It's going to lock you into some stuff. It's frustrating. Go with choose a template. And then honestly, you can pick whichever of these templates you want. You can spend lots of time scrolling through them, sorting through them, picking ones you think look cool, all that kind of stuff. Do pick carefully though, because you kind of can't change your template once you've picked one. So you would have to start your website over again, and that kind of sucks. You can change lots of the stuff that's in it. You can change the header. You can change the menu. I mean, one of the reasons I love Wix is it's, like I said, very customizable. But if you say you pick something like this and you're like, I don't like that anymore, I want to build something like this, it would be a lot of work to switch back and forth. So scroll through, pick one. There's pages and pages and pages. Be creative. Do whatever you want to do. This one looks pretty. Let's go with this one. So you would click edit. And it's going to magically build your website for you. Okay, so let's say this is your website. This is what it looks like when you're editing, if you haven't done this before. It lets you actually switch between editing how you would view this on a computer versus on a phone, which is cool. Saves what you're doing but doesn't publish it. So say like this, I'm recording this for you in May. This whole summer I'm going to be making changes to nifstem.org. I'm going to be saving them but not publishing them so nobody sees my work in progress, but my work is always saved. Always save when you're in here. Publish when you're ready for other people to see it. Preview lets you see your changes live if things move or whatever. But this is all kind of the stuff you get to play with. So you've got a menu up here. You can either click on this menu and do manage menu, which lets you change the menu, or navigate, which lets you go to the different pages, or you can go to the different pages under this drop down. Any of the stuff that you want to add is over here. So like you want to change the background, you can do that here. You can add text in different things. You can add pictures. You can add galleries of pictures, which can be really fun. You can add music in the background. You can add video. Easiest way to do this is stuff that's on YouTube. So if you take a video, put it on YouTube and put it here. You can add tons and tons of stuff. Everything that's in here, you can change the font and the text and the size and everything. You can change the size just by resizing it. It's all very customizable. Things to be aware of, though. When you scroll down, there's going to be random stuff. Some templates have more, some templates have less. Delete that. You don't need it, and it looks like you didn't quite finish your project if there's something there that you don't need. Looking at the menu up here, this is going to be really specific. I want everyone to have the same menu. So we're going to do Manage Menu. And I'm not as concerned about what you want on your home page. You can leave that alone for now, but we're just gonna delete all of these subpages because that deletes all the random template stuff that might be there. If you want to take a look at them to see if there's anything you want to copy first, you can do that. We're just going to delete these things. You do not need a contact page for your capstone. If you want to keep one, cool, but don't make it a big thing. This really isn't about you. This is about what you're doing. And then we're going to add pages, and we're going to add one for each step of the design process. So the first step is called, I have to think, Identify. Done. Add a page. The second page is called Investigate. That's not how you spell that. The third page, Interpret. The fourth page, Ideate. Done. The fifth page, Implement. And the sixth page, Inform. Done. Okay. Now, as you work through Capstone, you will put everything for each of these steps on each page. That's how you're getting your kind of mastery grades in the class. So when I would click on the button called Identify, here we can do it like this, Preview. Identify, everything for that rubric line would be right here. If I were to click Interpret, everything for that rubric line would be right here. The first year of Capstone that we did this as a class, kids, we kind of let them name the menu the way that they wanted to, and it got really confusing and kind of out of hand. So we want to be really clear and all on the same page. I don't care what your menu looks like. You can change the font. You can change all that stuff. It's fine. Another thing to be aware of with the menu is you can resize them. So see how, like, say mine was short. Okay? It would give me this really ugly More option, which then gives you a drop-down menu. You want to avoid that. It's just not good web design. People aren't going to go to your drop-down. So if yours does that, because some of them are designed shorter than others, just click the resize and make it as wide as you can until you can see all the options. Is there anything else that you need to know about the website stuff? That was Mr. Metcalf shaking his head. He feels like you're pretty good with that information. So that's your basics. When we start with the website, this is what you need to start with. And then on your Identify page, that'll be the first page that you actually build for me in the class. Let's publish this thing. So when we click Publish, you can name it. So it's automatically going to be this, and this is the part I was talking to you about some people don't like using their Google things because it's going to be STU, da-da-da-da-da, whatever. You can name this Senior Capstone Project. If you have a cutesy name that you think you want to name it that relates to your problem, you can do that. You can be a little creative with this. I'm not 100% sure you can change it later, so don't name it something stupid. But Senior Capstone Project would work, whatever you want to go from there. So let's call this Capstone. Capstone Template Practice. Capstone Practice. So that I remember what it's for. Save and continue. And now this is an actual website. I think it's an actual website. Yep. Look, I can actually go to this website, and there it is. That's a really ugly background now that I think about it. But that is how you use Wix.